Good afternoon, July 31st, 2020. This is another review of a television show. I've done the Fugitive reviews and reviews. And now I'm going to do Memo to the Twilight Zone. I wrote a book. Here it is. Memo to the Twilight Zone. Ken Artizone, Kelly Jurenberg Batten, co-author. See the cover? That's the episode mirror image. And on the back is the episode To Serve Man. Memo to the Twilight Zone. I'm going to review all 156 episodes. Can I do it on this video? You bet I can. I'll be quick as far as each episode. I'm not going to be detailed. One thing I did want to note at the beginning is Rod Serling created a masterpiece of a television series, and everybody who's ever watched television, they know about the Twilight Zone. 1959 through 1964. What a classic series. And in this book, I have 360 pages, and I review every episode, along with Kelly, who is a co-author. Let's get started. I'm going to count down from 156 all the way to number 1. 156 being either lousy or fair or average episodes, and all the way down being number 1, being the best and the most classic. The top 15, I'd say 20 are really good episodes. You'll see when we get there. 156 all the way to about 100 lousy and fair episodes. 100 down to about 50 would be about average to good, and then 50 to number 1 would be good to classic. Classic mean unmatched in television history. We better get started so I can get through this episode or this review in less than an hour. One thing I want to do very quickly before we begin. I'll just make note of some notable guest stars in season 1. Earl Holliman, Jack Warden, Burgess Meredith, Nehemiah Persoff, Steve Cochran, Ernest Trudus, Inger Stevens, Vera Miles, Martin Milner, Claude Atkins, Jack Weston, John Holt, Roddy McDowell, Susan Oliver, Albert Salmini, James Daly, Jack Klugman, and Francis. Season 1. Season 2, Donna Douglas, Agnes Moorehead, Barbara Nichols, Arlene Sachs, Billy Mumy, Liam Sullivan, Dennis Weaver, Barney Phillips, Fritz Weaver. Season 3, Elizabeth Montgomery, Charles Bronson, Lee Marvin, Billy Mumy, Joseph Skildercroft, Oscar Barriga, Lois Nettleton, Robert Redford, Barry Morse, Lloyd Bachner, Richard Keel, Susan Cummings, Phyllis Faxer. Season 4, Dennis Hopper, Robert Duvall, Dana Andrews, Patricia Breslin, Albert Salmini, Julie Newmar, James Whitmore. Season 5, William Shatner, Christine White, Mickey Rooney, Telly Savalas, Mary LaRoche, Robert Lansing, Mariette Hartley, Shelley Fabris, Diana Hyland, Robert Chaquet, Anne Blythe, Robert Keith, Nancy Malone. Those are in the Twilight Zone Hall of Fame. All right, number 156 all the way to number 1. Can we do it? Bear with me. Worst episode of the series. This is my analysis, my critique, my opinion. And as I count down the list, many of you will say, wait a minute, that one's better than the other. A lot of these are interchangeable, so I just list them. But when I get to the top 20, those are my favorites. You may agree or disagree there. It's okay. How about that? Hello? Boy, interrupting my video. That was just a spam call. All right, let's get started. All right, so I apologize for that. Again, as I'm going through the list, don't complain about this one or that one. I had to list them. You try listing all 156 and see where you come out. But again, I'll remind you that when we get to the top 20, even the top 25, those are the best of the best, all right? But some along this way as we go down, some are watchable episodes, some are just horrible. All right, 156, The Chaser, Season 1. A man is in love with a woman because he gives her a love potion. And it turns out the love potion never wears off. Awful episode. Episode 150, number 155 on my countdown. Mr. Denton on Doomsday, Season 1. Town drunk, faces an infamous killer, and gets some gunfighting skills. This was awful. It was supposed to be a Western episode, and it wasn't very good. Let me use these glasses. I can see my list a little better. Yeah, that's better. 154 on the countdown. Perchance to Dream, Season 1. A man with a severe heart condition. He's been awake, can't go to sleep, dreams about a certain lady that's trying to kill him. Awful. Lousy. Number 153 on my countdown. The Mighty Casey, Season 1. Baseball manager takes his team to the championship with a robot pitcher. Didn't work for me. Number 152 on the countdown. Hocus Pocus and Frisbee, Season 3. There's a fat guy tells stories and the aliens believe him. Not much to that. 151, Mr. Beavis, Season 1. Guardian angel offers to help a good-natured man who's having a bad day. Didn't like Beavis. 150, Sounds and Silence. This is from Season 5. A man has obsession with loud noises, and his wife leaves him. Not much to that story. 149 on the countdown. The Fever, Season 1. A man whose wife won tickets to Las Vegas, and he gambles, and the slot machine turns on him and kills him. No good. 148. King 9 Will Return, Season 2. Sole survivor of a World War II bomber crash. Can't find his crew. Didn't work for me. 147 on the countdown. Nick of Time, Season 2. Two newlyweds, they go into a diner, and there's a machine on the table with a devil head, and they put money in it, and it tells their fortune. Awful episode. 146, A World of His Own, Season 1. A man uses his tape recorder and produces people out of thin air. Lousy. 145, Once Upon a Time, Season 3. A janitor travels into the future because he put on a helmet. Notice throughout the series there's a lot of time travel, aliens, war. Didn't work. Counting down, 144, The Bewitching Pool, the very last episode of Season 5, and the very last episode of the series, talks about kids jumping into the pool and never coming out and landing in mysterious... They find an ant and some candy. No good of an episode. Number 143, The Mind and the Matter, Season 2. A man uses the power of concentration to remake the world in his own image. Lousy. Number 142, Mr. Dingle the Strong, Season 2. A meek vacuum cleaner salesman possesses strength. Average. All right, I'm going to say lousy, good, or average as far as watchable. You may say, well, a lot of these beginning ones are poor. They are. That's why I have them listed way up here. Okay. Number 141, Jezebel, Season 4. A mountain girl has a witch help her to get her lover back. Average. 140, I shot an arrow into the air. Astronauts deserted on an asteroid. Lousy. Number 139, counting down, The Incredible World of Horace 4, Season 4. A middle-aged man goes back to his childhood and visits his old neighborhood. Watchable. 138, What's in the Box, Season 5. After being fired by a strange TV repairman, an unhappy couple fight each other, and the TV that they're watching turns on them. Lousy. 137, The Seventh is Made Up of Phantoms, Season 5. 3 National Guardsmen explore the site of Custer's last stand, and they meet Custer. Average episode. Number 136 on the counting down, A Quality of Mercy, Season 3. During the war, a U.S. lieutenant gets to see the war from the other side, the Japanese side. Average. 135, The Whole Truth, Season 2. A used car salesman is forced to tell the truth to all the people that he sells cars to. Poor episode. Episode 134, Counting Down, number 134. Come Wander With Me. This is Season 5. A singer looks for a song, and he goes up to the mountains, visits the locals. Poor. Number 133, Valley of the Shadow, Season 4. Newspaper reporter discovers a small town with technology and a hidden secret. Average. Number 132 on the countdown, I Dream of Jeannie. Office worker acquires a lamp with a genie, and he offers him a wish. Average. 131, I Sing the Body Electric. Season 3. A widower buys a robot grandmother to care for his children. Watchable episode. 130, Printer's Devil, Season 4. A newspaper man saves his failing periodical by hiring a machine to help him out. Average. 129, Dead Man's Shoes, Season 3. A homeless man literally walks into another life when he steals a shoe from a corpse. Average. 128, A Thing About Machines, Season 2. A writer believes that the machine that he's using conspires against him. Poor episode. 127, The Jungle, Season 3. An engineer builds a dam in Africa, cursed by natives. Poor. 126, The Bard, Season 4. An inspiring screenwriter conjures up the script of William Shakespeare. Not bad episode. 125, A Most Unusual Camera. A couple who are thieves discover that the camera has stolen pictures of the future. They take a picture and they see the future. Gets them into trouble. Average. 124, Caesar and Me. A struggling ventriloquist has a dummy who talks him into a life of crime. Watchable. 123, The Fugitive, Season 3. A fugitive from another world befriends a handicapped girl. Poor episode. 122, The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank, Season 3. A dead man sits up in his coffin at the funeral. The townfolk become suspicious. They don't know who he is. Watchable. 121 on the countdown. A Short Drink from a Certain Fountain, Season 5. An old man married to a younger woman takes a youth serum, and guess what happens? Turns into a baby. Good episode there. How about that one, huh? 120 on the countdown. A penny for your thoughts. A coin lands straight up, and the man, he has a coin, flips it, it lands straight up. Then he can read people's minds in the bank. Average. 119, You Drive. A hit-and-run driver is haunted by the car that he drives after he hits somebody. Watchable. 118, The Self-Improvement of Salvador Ross. A suitor discovers he can trade physical assets for those of others. Poor episode. 117, 100 Yards Over the Rim. In the year 1847, a pioneer travels west with his family. He looks for food and water and finds himself in the 20th century. Good episode. 116, 4 o'clock. A financial one-man moral crusader decides to shrink those he dreams evil to a height of 2 feet. He has the power to shrink people from 6 feet to 2 feet. Average. Number 115, Counting Down. On Thursday, we leave for home, Season 4. Space pioneers return to Earth to establish a new society. But Earth is not the same. It's one of those space stories, a lot of space and alien stories in the series. I'll give that one average. 114, Cavender is Coming, Season 3. A clumsy theater worker meets her guardian angel. Average. 113, The Parallel, Season 4. An astronaut returns from a space flight to find everything has changed. Space stories, a lot of them in the series. Average. 112 on the countdown, A Kind of Stopwatch. A man has a watch and he can stop time. And everything, all the people around him stop. Average. 111, The Trouble with Templeton, Season 2. A Broadway actor yearns for the days when his wife was alive, and he gets his wish. She comes back alive. Average. 110, The Mirror, Season 3. A mirror allows a dictator to see the face of his enemies. Not bad. 109, Uncle Simon, Season 5. A long-suffering niece of a grumpy inventor finds no peace after he dies. Average. 108, Ring-a-Ding Girl, Season 5. A movie star receives a ring from a fan club that draws her back to the hometown. And she gets back there and she's at a picnic. It's called Ring-a-Ding. Poor episode. 107 Counting Down. Third from the Sun, Season 1. Atomic war on the horizon. A scientist and co-worker plot to board their families on a spaceship and escape to another planet. Watchable. 106, One More Pallbearer, Season 3. Staging a fake nuclear war, a millionaire offers shelter to 3 people. But they all start fighting with each other. Poor episode. 105, Back There, Season 2. An engineer travels through time and lands on the spot where Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. He tries to change history. I'm not going to give you all the endings of it because it's just too much to talk about in all these episodes. But I would say Back There, good episode. 104 in the countdown, Showdown with Rance McGrew. This is a Western, and a guy has a showdown with an arch gunslinger. Poor. Whenever the series did a Western, there were only a few that made it pretty good. All right, 103 Counting Down, The New Exhibit, Season 4. A wax museum has murderous figures, and one of them comes to life. Yee. Watchable. 102, 90 Years Without Slumbering, Season 5. An old man believes he will die the moment his grandfather clock stops ticking. Average. 101, Mute. A mute telepathic girl is the sole survivor of a fire that kills her parents. Average. 100, The 30 Phantom Grave, Season 4. A strange tapping sound draws a ship to the site of a sunken World War II submarine. Average. Okay, I did 56 episodes. Now we're going to count down from 100, and then when we get to 20, wait for those classics coming up. There's some good ones in this mix. 100, The 30 Phantom Grave, Season 4. All right, that was 100. 99, Praise of Pip, Season 5. A bookie receives news that his son is wounded. He gets the chance to save his life. Not bad. 98, The Prime Mover, Season 2. A gambler uses the telepath powers of his friend to win big in Las Vegas. Not bad. 97, The Arrival, Season 3. Let's see. Members of an airport staff, they investigate a plane. The plane lands. There's nobody aboard. How about that one? Average. 96, The Escape Clause. Oh, I didn't like this one. It's Season 1. A man afraid of dying sells his soul to the devil for immortality. There were some a lot of religious episodes in the series. I wouldn't do that. Sell your soul to the devil. 95, The Last Night of a Jockey, Season 5. A small jockey gets his wish. He becomes a big jockey. Mickey Rooney was in that one. Average. 94, In His Image, Season 4. A man is confused by a loss of his memory, and he starts to commit murder. Poor. 93, He's Alive, Season 4. The struggling leader of a small group of Nazis receives advice from a stranger. Poor. 92, Passage of a Lady Anne, Season 4. No, number 92 in the countdown. Passage of the Lady Anne, Season 4. A couple board a cruise ship, but all the ones on the board are older than them. I don't know about that one. 91, The Four of Us Are Dying, Season 1. A small-time con man has the ability to change his face from gangsters. Interesting. Number 90, Death Ship, Season 4. 3 astronauts discover exact duplicates of their spaceship and themselves on another planet. Average. 89 on the countdown, and when the sky was open, season 1, 3 astronauts returned from the desert but can't remember what happened on their flight. Again, a lot of space stories in the Twilight Zone. 88, the Rip Van Caper, season 2. A gang of gold thieves. They suspend themselves in animation chambers, wake up 100 years later, but the gold is not worth anything. Good episode there. 87 on the countdown. Static, season 2. Man listens to a radio and discovers all his past. Watchable. 86 on the countdown. From Agnes with Love, season 5. Computer programmer receives advice on his love life, but the computer falls in love with him. Average. 84, Nervous Man in a $4 Room, season 2. A nervous gangster faces himself with his boss. A lot of gangster episodes also in the series. Poor. 83, Spur of the Moment, season 5. An engaged woman is terrorized by a black horse. Average. 82, The Encounter, season 5. A samurai sword sparks a conflict between two guys, one the American and the other the Japanese. 81, Mr. Garrity in the Grave, season 5. A strange traveling peddler brings a dog back to life. And then he also can bring back people out of the cemetery back to life. Average episode. 80 on the countdown. The Purple Testament, season 1. An army lieutenant serving in the war has the ability, by looking at people's faces when they glow, to see whether they will die. Average episode. 79 on the countdown. Night Call. An old woman keeps receiving a phone call from her dead husband in the cemetery. Good episode. 78 on the countdown. One for the Angels, season 1. This is the second episode in the series. A pitchman talks to Death, the Grim Reaper. And the Grim Reaper wants to take his life and say, it's time to go, it's time for you to die. But the pitchman says, well, wait a minute. Can I save the girl's life first? Something like that. And the Grim Reaper says, okay, you can help her. And then after you help her, you have to die. One for the Angels. Watchable. 77, A Passage for Trumpet, season 1. A down-and-out trumpet player gets another chance of life before killing himself. Average. 76, Walking Distance, season 1. An executive visits its hometown and sees his old childhood and sees himself as a kid. How about that one? And sees his parents. Back with strange Twilight Zone. 95, Nightmare as a Child, season 1. Strange little girl reveals secrets about her past to her school teacher. Watchable. 74, The 16mm Shrine, season 1. An Asian movie star rewatches her old films and tries to be young again. Average. The Gift, 73 on the countdown, season 3. A visitor from outer space, there we are again, tries to present a gift to the Mexican village. Not bad. 72, Old Man in the Cave, season 5. Former soldier are hiding out in a cave from the atomic bomb. And they see an unseen cave dweller. Interesting episode there. 71, Person or Persons Unknown, season 3. A man discovers that all traces of identity has been erased, and his wife doesn't even know who he is. Good episode. 70 on the countdown. A World of Difference, season 1. A businessman finds himself in another life as an actor, playing a character in a movie. Average. Remember now, in my countdown, a lot of these episodes are interchangeable as far as being better or worse than each other. Okay? 69, The Lateness of the Hour, season 2. A woman disapproves of robot servants of her father, then finds out she's a robot herself. That was a good one. Lateness of the Hour. Inger Stevens was in that one. 68 on the countdown. Long Live Walter Jamison, season 1. A history professor is 1,000 years old and can't die. And an ex-wife finds out where he is, shoots him, and he becomes dust. Good episode there. 67, Still. Boxing promoter tries to get most of his broken down robot boxer. Average. 66, Kick the Can. A lot of old folks in the nursing home become young again and kick the can and have fun. Average episode. That was season 3. 65 in the countdown. The Night of the Meek. Santa Claus episode, a Christmas episode, and he reaches into his sack, finds toys, and gives them to the kids. Average. 64, The Long Marrow, season 5. An astronaut falls in love with a woman before going on a 40-year mission in space. Average. 63, The Trade-Ins, season 3. An elderly couple want young bodies for the two of them. They're an old couple. They want to go to a place and trade their bodies for a young body, but only one of them can do it. Good episode, Trade-Ins. 62 on the countdown. The Big Tall Wish, season 1. A boy makes a wish for a boxer to come back and fight one more last time. Not bad. 61 on the countdown. Number 12, Looks Like You, season 5. A future society, a young woman resists having the surgery her society requires to make her beautiful and identical. Average. 60 on the countdown. The Odyssey of Flight 33, season 2. A plane is in the air, and when the pilot looks out the window, he sees dinosaurs on the ground. Interesting episode. 59, A Game of Pool, season 3. A legendary pool player returns from the dead and challenges a pool shark to one final game. Not bad. 58, Nothing in the Dark, season 3. An elderly couple refuse eviction, and a young woman, an older woman, is refusing eviction from the police, and she meets a stranger who's seriously wounded, and she lets him in, but he's a ghost. 57, The Obsolete Man, season 2. A librarian makes an unusual request about his execution. Average. 56, The Dummy. The dummy talks to his master and tells him what to do versus the master talking to the dummy. Average. 55 in the countdown. Shadow Play, season 2. A man convicted of murder awaits his execution. The only problem is it's a dream and it just keeps happening again and again and again. Groundhog Day. 54, The Fear, season 5. A woman is fearful because she keeps seeing all these lights in the sky. Average. 53, The Brain Center at Whipple's. A factory owner replaces his human employees with machines. Not bad. 52, The Jeopardy Room, season 5. A police detective forced into a game of cat and mouse. Average. 51, I am the night, color me black. A man is to be hanged at sunrise. The only problem is it never gets to the sunrise. It stays night all night. Interesting episode. 50, Queen of the Nile, season 5. A columnist discovers the secret behind apparent eternal youth. Average. 49, Black Leather Jackets, season 5. 3 motorcycle young men. They're part of an alien force, but one of them has sympathy for Shelley Fabris, the local teenage girl. Average episode. 48, Probe 7, over and out. Back to space again. Spaceship crashes on a distant planet, and he learns that his own planet is destroyed. He becomes the lone survivor. Average. 47, Of late I think of Clifferfield, season 4. An aging tycoon exchanges his fortune for a trip to the past and a new beginning. That was a good episode. That was season 4. 46, No Time Like the Past. A scientist has a time machine and he goes back and tries to change history. There's a lot of time travel episodes in the series. Not bad. 45, Miniature, season 4. A clerk sees miniature figures in a dollhouse, and one of them's alive. And he becomes attracted to it. Not bad. That was Robert Duvall in that one. 44, The Changing of the Guard, season 3. A professor is forced into retirement, but changes his mind when he's teaching the class. Average. 43, Young Man's Fancy, season 3. A newlywed husband. He refuses to leave home, and his wife is mad, and he wants to stay with his mommy. Interesting episode. 42, Counting Down, The Little People. 2 astronauts land on a distant planet, and all of them are tiny people. Interesting. 41, Little Girl Lost, season 3. A little girl disappears from her bedroom, and she enters another dimension. And one of the guys sticks his arm through the wall and tries to pull her out, and the dog helps out. Interesting episode there. 40, A Piano in the House, season 3. A cynical theater critic takes advantage of a player piano that reveals other people's secrets. Average. 39, Counting Down. We're getting to the top 20. Wait till you see. The Hunt, season 3. A mountain man goes into hunting for raccoons with his dog. When he comes home, he realizes everything is different. Average. 38, Still Valley, season 3. During the Civil War, a Confederate scout enters to town to find out that all the soldiers are frozen. Interesting, weird episode. 37, Death's Head Visitors, season 3. Revisited. Death's Head Revisited, season 3. A captain visits a concentration camp, and he gets haunted by the ghost of all the prisoners. Good episode. 36, The Grave. A hired killer is challenged to visit the grave of an outlaw, and when he does, he gets to the grave, and an arm out of the dirt grabs him and pulls him into the grave. Good episode. Lee Marvin. 35, The Passerby, season 3. At the end of the Civil War, wounded soldiers pass by a woman's house, and she's sitting on the porch. And the soldiers pass by. Interesting. 34, The Shelter, season 3. An alert is issued for imminent nuclear attack, prompting neighbors to unite against the family who has the shelter. 33, The Silence, season 2. A club member bets that he can not stop talking for a year, but in the end it reveals that he won the bet. Why? He cut out his vocal cords. Ew, that was an eerie ending. 32, Long Distance Call, Season 2. A boy talks with his dead grandmother on the toy telephone. Not a real phone, but a toy telephone. Counting down, 31, 22. Season 2. A dancer hospitalized for a recurring nightmare. She goes to the morgue, and she gets nightmares of the morgue. And she refuses to visit the morgue because of the nightmare. So then when she goes outside, she's supposed to board a plane. She refuses to get on the plane. Moments later, the plane explodes. Number 30 in the countdown, Dust. In the Old West, a condemned man buys magic dust to save his son. 29, The Halloween Man, Season 2. A man lost in a storm finds a monastery where the monks, one of the monks is the devil himself. Ooh. 28, The Man in the Bottle, Season 2. A genie grants 4 wishes to a pawnbroker and his wife. He wishes for money, success, wishes to be a ruler, and then he wishes none of this happened. Average. 27, The After Hours. A woman is told that upstairs there's a lot of mannequins. Beware of them. But it turns out she's a mannequin herself who escaped. Interesting. And Francis in that one. 26, A Nice Place to Visit. A thief is shot by police, winds up in a place where he has everything he wants. And he thinks it's heaven. But it turns out it's the other place. I like that episode. 25, Execution, Season 1. An outlaw cowboy is about to be hanged, but he gets saved at the last moment by a time machine, and the real killer takes his place. Not a bad episode. Number 24 in the countdown, Elegy, Season 1. Astronauts land on an asteroid resembling Earth, but they found out that everybody's frozen. Plants, dogs, people, everything's frozen. 23 in the countdown, What You Need, Season 1. A thug tries to exploit the abilities of a peddler who can see into the future. But the peddler gets the upper hand. All right. 22 on the list, Judgment Night, Season 1. A man from Germany does not remember how he boarded a British ship heading for New York, but he has the feeling that the ship will sink. 21. All right. We're getting into the classics. The Lonely, Season 1. In the year 2046, a convicted man serving a sentence, he gets a companion because he's the only one on the asteroid 3 million miles away. He needs a companion, and it's a girl. But he finds out that the girl is a robot. It's not a real person. That was a good episode, classic. Number 20 on the list, 5 Characters in a Search of an Exit, Season 3. There's a lot of people stuck in a bin, and they try to climb out. Finds out that all of them are just toy little figures, and a little girl is the one who threw them into the garbage bin, but they tried to climb out. That's an interesting episode. Number 19, Stopover in a Quiet Town, Season 5. Married couple wakes up, and they run around town, but they can't get out of town. Finds out that they're Barbie. The girl is the Barbie doll, and the guy is the Ken doll. And the little girl on the top is playing in the dollhouse. Good episode there. Didn't see that one coming. 18 on the list, The Mask, Season 5. A wealthy dying man orders his family to wear masks. Then they can get their inheritance. But when the family tries to take the mask off, it won't come off, and so it's a punishment to them. Classic episode. 17 on the list, The Midnight Sun, Season 3. A landlady and her tenants struggle to survive when the Earth changes its orbit and begins moving toward the sun. It's so hot and hot and hot, and they're sweating and they're dying, but at the last moment, it becomes cool. Midnight Sun, number 16 on the list, 2. Season 3, two soldiers, a man and a woman, are the only survivors in the war, and they opposite sides, and they end up together. Interesting episode. That was Elizabeth Montgomery and Charles Bronson. First episode of season 3. Classic. 15 on the list. Will the real Martian please stand up? Season 2. State troopers investigating UFO sightings. They go back to a diner to determine which of the passengers is really a Martian. Turns out there's two Martians. The guy at the counter has 3 arms, and the guy who's serving the drinks has 3 eyes, 1 here and 2 here. Classic episode. Number 14 on the list. It's a Good Life. Season 3. A 6-year-old boy terrorizes the residents of Peaksville, Ohio, with special powers that control the cornfield and control people's thoughts, and he turns one of them into a jack-in-the-mouse. It's a Good Life. 13 on the list, To Serve Man. Everybody knows this one. Season 3. A 9-foot-tall alien enters Earth, and he offers a cure for mankind. So everybody boards a spaceship hoping to get the cure of eternal life or whatever on another planet. But as it starts to fly away, the scientist is the last one on board, and he finds out the spaceship and the planet they're going to is a cookbook. What does that mean? That means the aliens are going to take the human residents and eat them alive. Good episode. Serve Man. Number 12 on the list, Living Dow, Season 5. A man finds himself being actually physically threatened by his stepdaughter's talking Dow, talking Tina. That's a good one. Classic. Number 11, The Hitchhiker, Season 1. A woman driving cross country keeps seeing a hitchhiker everywhere she goes. So eventually, he's in the back seat and he goes, "Are you going my way?" Turned out the woman had died. And she was just dreaming. She talks to her mother on the phone, "Mother, mother." And the mother goes, "My daughter's dead." Going my way. Number 10 on the list, an occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. Season 5. A Confederate sympathizer is hanged, but the rope breaks, and he runs and escapes, and then as soon as he gets to his loving wife, it's all a dream. He actually was being hanged. Good episode. Number 9 on the list, Where Is Everybody? First episode of the entire series. A man with no memory finds himself in a strange, empty town. He was an astronaut being experimented with loneliness. Where is everybody? Classic. Number 8 on the list. People are alike all over. Season 1. 2 astronauts. They crash land, and one of them's put into a cage. And it turns out there to be an exhibition in a zoo. 2 astronauts on a distant planet. Susan Oliver's in that one. Roddy McDowell, classics. Number 7, one of the all-time classics. Time Enough at Last, season 1. A bank teller yearning for more time to read gets his wish when he becomes the sole survivor of a nuclear holocaust. Burgess Meredith, Time Enough at Last. Everybody remembers that one. He's reading the books in the end, and what happens? His glasses break. Classic. Number 6. A Stop at Willoughby, Season 1. A stressed-out ad executive discovers a quiet 1880s town called Willoughby in his dreams. And he wants to keep getting off, but he can't. So when he wakes up from his dream, he's in his present-day life, doesn't like his wife, his job. So he gets back on the train and dreams about Willoughby And at the end, he gets off the train. A Stop at Willoughby. I liked it. You may disagree as far as my order being number 6 on my countdown. A Stop at Willoughby. Good, wholesome story in the Twilight Zone. Number 5. All right, 5 to number 1. It's hard to classify them as the best of the entire series. These are my choices, okay? You may argue. 5. The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. Season 1. A power failure causes the residents of a suburban neighborhood to suspect one another of being monsters from another space. But at the end of the episode, it turns out that aliens had confused all the town folk to turn on them. And they said, this is the recipe for success to take over planet Earth. Classic episode. 4 on the list. You may disagree here as far as the order, but I'm going to put it here because there's 3 others I like better. 4, The Eye of the Beholder, Season 2. A woman wrapped in bandages because she thinks she's ugly, and she pleads with her doctors for beauty. And at the end of the episode, they unwrap all the bandages. It turns out she's gorgeous, and the doctors have pig noses and lips. Twisted ended in the Twilight Zone, and that episode everyone remembers. The Eye of the Beholder. Donna Douglas comes in at number 4 on my list. Number 3. Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. Season 5. William Shatner. He has a nervous breakdown on the plane and he sees a monster on the wing. What does he do? He tries to kill the monster. So he grabs a gun, shoots the window out. The monster flies off and the plane lands safely. And he looks up and said, nobody believed him because nobody could see the monster. Only he could see the monster on the wing, a fury creature. William Shatner at his best. Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. This is the episode that everybody around water coolers in the office, they talk about. You remember the monster on the wing? They remember. Number 2 on my list. The Invaders, Season 2. Agnes Moorehead plays a woman in a lonely rural house, and she's stalked by these small little tiny space creatures with a small air spacecraft. And she's terrorized by them, so she's running around the house, gets the broom, gets her knife, tries to kill them all, and she's just an old lady. And eventually she smashes the spacecraft and kills all the little tiny robot spacemen. And what happens in the end? It turns out she's a giant on another planet. And the spacemen are our astronauts who travel to her planet. What a classic ending on that one. The Invaders. 2 people gave stellar performances in this series as far as acting, hands down. 1, William Shatner in Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. 2, Agnes Moorehead in The Invaders. Best actor, best actress, hands down. Number 1 on my list, you may disagree, but I like it. Mirror Image, Season 1. A woman, Vera Miles, is in a bus depot, and she sees her identical twin. Is this the parallel universe? Do we all have a mirror image of ourselves living on the other side of the world? Well, she found hers. But the thing is, she couldn't contact the person because it seemed like a force was preventing them from meeting each other. So then there's another guy in the bus depot, and he tries to help the girl, and he thinks she's a lunatic, so he calls the police, and they drag her away. And when he leaves the bus depot, he sees his mirror image, his duplicate. He says, "Hey, stop!" And he runs after him in Twilight Zone lore. Classic ending on that one. Mirror image. All right, I got through all 156 episodes. What do you think? Memo to the Twilight Zone. Classic series. Eerie endings. Rod Serling, we give you props. We give you credit for an outstanding series. All right, Ken AutoZone, thanks for watching. I'm out.